I've learned something very exciting from my home healthcare nurse Astrid yesterday. She came to visit. We've got this deal that it's kind of in conjunction with my health insurance every 3 months or so. I believe every 3 months it is. She comes and checks up on me. It's a free service partly provided by Florida Blue. It's not partly, it's provided by Florida Blue. And what they do is just make sure that I don't, fall off the wagon in regards to cancer care and stuff. So we meet every 3 months and see how I'm doing, and I'm doing great, so that's awesome. That's really, really good news. Now, one of the things that I was always a little bit sketchy about was the relationship between TSH, T3 and T4. It has to do with thyroid hormones, of course, and I believe what I knew so far up until before yesterday was that TSH is the thyroid stimulating hormone, and that's the stuff that the brain sends out to the pituitary gland, I think, to say, hey, I need X amount of thyroid hormones in the blood. And it's a very complex process, this. So the brain says I need some hormones, and then tells the pituitary gland to create those hormones. But what is actually created is not what the body can use immediately. So I believe what is created then is something called T4 hormone. And that is just the actual stuff that you get in the medication that I'm taking, because my thyroid's kind of, not working anymore as a result of my cancer treatment. So I have to take that artificially, this hormone. And it kind of depends on how much the body says it needs, and that's how much is usually created. But in my case, nothing is created, or only very, very little, almost nothing is created. So the T4 is the hormone that I take artificially, or that's the one that's generated by a healthy thyroid. That's T4. But then there's also another thing which is called T3, and that is the stuff that my body converts the T4 into so that I can actually use it. So that I didn't know until yesterday. And that's something like a bit of a puzzle that I've learned there. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Astrid, for bringing that to my attention and for checking that with me. So that's cool. So now I know TSH is my brain saying this is the hormone so that's the hormone comes from the brain that says how much T4 needs to be produced, and then accordingly T4 is produced, but that is not what the body can actually absorb and use. So for that it has to be converted into something called T3, and that is what then can actually be absorbed by the body and make good use of. So why is this important? Well, it is important because if the T3 is low but the T4 is okay, that means the TSH will still be high, because the body says, hey, I'm not getting what I need. And sometimes the answer isn't to increase the T4 then, because it looks like even if you do increase the T4, it doesn't mean you're converting it into enough T3 so that your body can use it. And that's sometimes the problem. So from what I understand, I guess you can't give T3 artificially. I don't think that works. It has to be converted by the body. I don't know. That's another puzzle I have. Something to look up to look up at one point. But yes, so this is what I've learned today, and I thought I just want to make a mental note of it. This is TSH versus T4 versus T3. There we go. Sometimes your T4 can be okay, but your T3 can still be low, and increasing the T4 doesn't actually help in that case. There we go.